Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Then can you be held or can you be charged for something that you didn't actually claim? There's so many vagaries around this whole issue. And the thing about incidents like what Raphael Tuju currently is going through or not, then brings to bear a lot of the things that happen in society that people who don't have clout, don't have recognition, don't have position, deal with on a daily basis. So what happens to you and me, the person who is on a different level of the social structure? What happens to you? Do you just disappear into the system? What happens? We'll talk about that at 8 o'clock, and we're going to be doing that with Wakili Joshua Nyamori. Justice Thursday, our conversation is the case of self-abduction. There have been quite a number, and there have been pronouncements around that. So we're going to be looking into that conversation with Wakili for our Justice Thursday conversation at 8. And then at 9, beyond borders, can Africa withstand global trade disruptions like the one that is currently happening? And everybody's saying, don't hoard fuel. DRC, people are already in fuel lines. We have Opio Andai saying, don't hoard petrol. Let's get people with what they need. And we're trying to do everything we can to ensure that there's more. But can Africa withstand it? Can Africa withstand it? I mean, the last couple of days I've been saying that it must be something that can be done, especially when we have the 7th largest producer of oil on this continent, and that can something be done then to ensure that Africa first. It's got to be a conversation about Africa first, but we'll have a conversation about whether we can actually withstand these global shocks. And Sophia Allen Asimwe is a trade and development practitioner beyond borders. We'll talk about that with her this morning, and she'll join us in the room. So that's what our conversations look like today, and we're very glad that you've joined us today. It's Thursday, wherever you're tuned in. Our live streams are up on YouTube, Facebook, and on X. Thank you for joining us across our digital platforms. And for our audience on KTN this morning, thank you for being here. Many, many of you listening as you're getting to where you get to go this morning on school buses. I thought it was so great that on school buses, kids are listening to the Situation Room as they get to school. And as you're getting to work and listening in and plugging into these conversations that we need to have. So Karibu Sana, thank you very much for being here with us. And I will get into it in just a little bit when we say hello to you. So tell us where you're tuned in from and what you're doing. Remember that you need to say hi to Grace so that she can know that this is a place that she can be coming to. You know how when you go to church and then they say...
new members.
Then after that, then they now say, if this is not your church, take our greetings back. But you see now in this case, we don't want you to take the greetings back. We want you to
stay.
Should be understand. All right. So our proverbs this week are from Guinea, the Republic of Guinea, a former French colony. And I want you to tell me what you think about it and how you would interpret this particular proverb. All right? Knowledge is like a garden. It is not cultivated. Knowledge is like a garden. If it is not cultivated, it cannot be harvested. Knowledge is like a garden. If it is not cultivated, it cannot be harvested. What do you think of that?
You said knowledge is like a garden, if not cultivated, cannot be harvested. I believe what it entirely means. Can it be basically be more about the education or just life in itself?
So now it's you to tell us. What do you think?
I think I'll take it in the form of life, just in a broader perspective, and how the choices that you make in life, they really go hand in hand on how, your tomorrow will be like, or how you're going to shape your life in future. So I feel like it's more of like your life choices have consequences of the kind of life your life choices have consequences of the path or the kind of life that you're going to live. I think that is my thought on it.
Yeah. I guess so. I mean, just think about gardens and what you need to do. If you plant a seed, you need to make sure that you tend to it. You need to make sure that you care for it. If you leave it, it'll die. If you don't, court knowledge, if you don't read, if you don't get more in, then you're likely to, again, some things are likely to fall off.
Yes.
If you don't cut out things that are unnecessary or things that are stifling growth, then you end up being, covered by too much that's not important. Yeah, I guess if we want the best of it, we have to take care of it.
Exactly.
Yep. That is it. Okay, so let's take a minute to say hello to you, everybody who's tuned in this morning, and where you're tuning in from. Don't forget to tell us where it is you are tuned in from so that we can give a shout out to you. Also understand that there's some folks who normally would be going to bed but have decided to stay up. The likes of Wairimo, who is on the west side in California, and those who are in Oregon, waking up, well, either not going to bed and listening to us, and people who are in the Gulf from Doha to Qatar and all the way the southeast and then into Australia as well. Everybody, welcome. And those of us who are here in Kenya, those of us who are in different parts of the continent, karibu. All right, so so who says what this morning, and getting into where you're tuned in. Yesterday is actually Justice Thursday, and a very good morning to you. This technology sometimes just decides to slow me down and doesn't allow me to continue with my role, but we move regardless. All right, here we go. A very good morning to you, Peter Kiarie. We see you tuned in this morning. Thank you for getting into the room with us. Always a pleasure to have you here. All right. And you say that you don't need to push yourself beyond your limits to grow. Steady effort applied consistently is enough to move your life forward. There you go. Joseph Akondo tuned in this morning. We see you. Good morning. You're tuning from Tuju, Mombasa. Agutu Ogembo says, good morning. Tuning from Embakasi. Good to have you here as well. Robert Mbogo is tuning from Mombasa. And Leo's, hello, Princess Ndu. Good morning to you, Leo. Voter suppression is when you send one IEBC clerk to a station with thousand potential new voters. Being someone's parrot means you lose your thinking, and parroting baselessly. Okay. Are we joining all of those thoughts this morning, Leo? Bob Akoko says, good morning, Spice Crew. Great people are ordinary people with extraordinary amounts of determination. That's it. Dio Combo says, good morning, Spice FM Club team. Ndu, yes. Today I woke up and realized tuna... Oh, God. Tuna. Not tuna fish, sorry. Tuna Ingia League ya Wahenga. Today play the lyrics of You Must Calculate by Prince Enyango. I don't even know who that is. Grace, who is Prince Enyango?
Prince Enyango.
Hey, Prince.
Is that a Kenyan?
I have no idea.
Maybe he should tell us.
Oh, God. Okay. Dr. Van Vic tuning from today in Mombasa. Raphael Butcher is tuning from Mason in Georgia. Herb says, good morning, Nico Kadi, and it's not a joke, kabisa. Oh, that is not the joker. I get it. Well done. Fantastic. That's a great way to start. Nico Kadi, and it's not a joker. It's great. Hisa Daniel tuned in this morning from Attack in Uganda. Martin Okot says, no comment. Well, good morning to you too. Washo Gatoto says, good morning, Ndwako. Today is Thursday, my favorite day. Stay blessed. Thursday's your favorite day. Okay, that's great. Excuse me. Monica Oile says, speaking of value to human life, I saw flags at half-mast. 2 Canadian pilots were involved in a plane crash in the U.S. And there's a minute-by-minute investigations. Our country, flood victims. I saw a horrific video yesterday of there were raging flood waters, and there was a heavily pregnant woman, and they were trying, she was stuck in this, the waters were really crazy, and there were 4 men who were trying to pull her out, but they couldn't. And this woman was carried away by this water. I mean, obviously she died, but I was just like, oh my God.
It reminds me of when a mother lost her baby. She was carrying her baby at the back, and the baby slipped.
Into the water.
Yes. It's really disheartening, by the way. Yeah.
It is. Martin Okoth just says Gracie. He's decided it's Gracie. He says no comments. So
who is that again?
Martin Okoth.
Good morning, darling.
Hey, you are finished, man. He's a finished man. Now you see, a finished man. George Ademo says, good morning. Good morning to you. Hi to you too. Anything lately? Ni hao. When one place faces disaster, help comes from all directions. That's very true. Washoga Toto says, Karibu sana Grace Nganga. Bonjour, ladies. Grace, welcome to our home, says Linda. Eric Orr says, good morning, guys. My Princess Jumbo. If the government knows everything about everyone, as Murkomen claims, where is the government when Kenyans were being recruited to join the Russian army? Hello? Is it complicity or ignorance? You have to know, if you know everything about Kenyans all the time, then you need to know everything about Kenyans all the time. Then tell us what happened in Kericho. Tell us what happened when Kenyans are going to fight. I agree. I agree. Tell us what happened with people in Shakahola. Tell us what's going on. If you know everything about everyone all the time, then you should be able to tell us that we shouldn't even have to wait for these investigations to be done. But I'm just saying, random musings. Brian Rono says, good morning, ladies. Looking forward to today's conversations. Excuse me. Thank you for being here this morning. Wanda, good morning. You're tuned in from Toronto. Hi, Ndu and Grace. I'm looking forward to hearing from Governor Gladys. The NDC showdown is going to be so interesting. It is, I would imagine. Nashon Googie says, good morning, Ndu and Grace. We have no business sending KDF out there. Let's learn to stay in our lane. This ain't our fight. We can't always be on the wrong side of history. From Arizona, with love. Good morning to you, sir. Karibu Sana. Robert Koro says, good morning, Ndu and Grace. I hope I'm tuned in from Kabarak in Nakuru. Jennifer Cheney says, good morning, my spell of Spician. I like that you guys have given yourself nationality within the situation room. It's great. Looking forward to a great conversation. Thank you for being here this morning. Raimsula Omar says, good morning, tuned in from London. Ndu, we the youth need to continue with the Tuku Kadi campaign and turn out to vote in numbers next year. Welcome, Lady in Red. Hey. Yeah, just be ready for it. Don't worry. Good morning. Wanda says the situation room is global. 11 p.m. in Toronto, and I am here. SR to the world. Kabisa Wanda. Their ambassador. Great. Georgia Dim says, Grace, welcome. And Gio Newdon says, good morning, beautiful people. Tuned in from Logan Circle in Washington, D.C. Joyce, you look stunning, and I love your hair. However, her name is Grace.
I feel the love, people. I feel the love.
But it's okay. We can also call you Joyce. After all, ask Terry what her other name is.
Okay, Joyce, Grace. I love you two people.
We can go with it no matter what.
For sure.
She's looking at me. Ivy, I don't know. Okay, everybody. Karibu Sana, good morning. Thank you for being here today and just, egging us on to continue into this. All protocols observed, meaning the love that we have greeted you with, we continue with that. If you're coming into the room later, know that we are spreading it far and wide. Okay, at this point, we look into the headlines, and then we'll take a break and come back and look into stories in detail, because there are quite some. And you, of course, want to ask yourself the question, what on earth is going on? Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard, the headline on The Standard today, grave questions. The burning question gripping the nation is who the Kericho mass grave victims are. Who are these people? And why 33 bodies, far more than the 14 officially listed, were buried in secret? In a country where families still mourn missing loved ones, such clandestine internments deepen suspicion and outrage, coming less than 3 years after hundreds of bodies were dug up in Shakahola Forest. Nyamira County government's attempt to justify the burials with partial court orders now crumbles under the damning revelations from the exhumation, raising urgent questions about accountability, procedural breaches, and the fate of the unclaimed dead. So many questions, of course, but let's look at some numbers. 14, the bodies that were buried according to initial reports. 33, the bodies authorities discovered after exhumation at the Makaburini Cemetery in Kericho. 25, the number of bodies of children that were found in the mass grave, according to investigators, which include both neophytes and fetuses. So who are their mothers? If they were fetuses, who are their mothers? Do they know that their children are dead? Were they aborted fetuses? I mean, there's too many questions. Who gave the order for them to leave Nyamira? Nyamira, as we established yesterday, is not too far a trot away from Kericho, but it's far enough a trot away for us to know that Nyamira has referral hospitals that have morgues, and that it's not possible that the entire county doesn't have a morgue, that you have to go to Kericho. So when it doesn't make sense, there's usually something wrong. What is going on?
No, I'm still really trying to wonder who would justify such an act. Why would a whole county government justify this? Come on, we are still still stuck by the Shakahola 1 and Shakahola 2. We have this number, and you asked a very pertinent question. Who are these people? Do their families even know these people are missing in the first place? Then a whole county government comes and justifies the burials? Really?
No.
I
know that when someone dies, you must go get a permit.
Yes.
And because even if you don't have a death certificate, you have a death notice. You take that and they give you the permit in order to bury.
Yeah.
Who issued permits for these burials?
When? At what time were they even buried at this time? Because we're asking so many questions. And Ndu, when you come to think of it, we talked about Shakahola, right? Now we're in Kericho.
Yeah.
So what else don't we know that is happening in this country at maybe odd hours that we are not aware of?
What if the alarm was not sounded?
Exactly.
What if that group of people who asked, what's this going on here, didn't ask or were not there at the time? What would have happened? This story would have
Under
gone
the wraps.
completely. So then you beg to ask, how many more like this have happened
around the country?
We're going to come back and look into that in a few more minutes. Oil marketers put on notice after fuel hoarding amid shortage fears. CS Opiowandai says, guys, we're not keeping this. Let it go. Sell it. Let people have fuel. The Kalasha Film and TV Awards hot up. The race for the 2026 awardees. If you know what that is, it's one of Kenya's biggest awards when it comes to film and TV. We were kept in the dark, the police say, to questions over a mass grave. That's some of the stuff that's coming out now. Tuju is going to appear in court as DCI bid to search his home is denied. The court denied them access to his home because what for? That's the question. Now, e-Citizen, where there's at least a 50 shillings service charge for every service you pay for, that is a government service. The AG and the equity boss are being summoned in a probe on billions lost via e-Citizen. Remember that the Auditor General's office is apolitical. She doesn't care who is the party leader of whomever, whatever. She doesn't care who is the ruling. Her job is to crunch the numbers and tell you what it is. She's come and she's told us, guys, there's money that's unaccounted for here that was actually paid in. Where is it? And so now they've been summoned to come and tell people these billions that are being lost, where is it? 2.6 billion is the amount the Auditor General said e-Citizen illegally collected from Kenyans in convenience fees. The High Court ruled over this, that convenience fee you should actually not be collecting. So where is the money?
Where is the money? And I know many people might wonder how equity came about from this, because I covered this committee yesterday. And apparently equity, the webmasters opened 2 equity accounts, one in Kenyan shillings, one in dollars.
Nice.
And guess what? When the PS was asked, was like, I don't even know who opened these accounts, but we froze these accounts. It's a whole saga. And we were like, what do you mean? 2.6 billion shillings open to equity. And then even the MPs were asking, why equity? Like, we have other bank accounts, why equity? And why did they do it without passing through the Treasury? Because Treasury was not aware that the e-Citizen opened an account via equity. It was illegal. That's why they're saying this money is illegal, because actually opening in that account in itself had so many questions. Why?
But why are we like this? Let me go.
Let me tell you. Hey. It's Africa. Is it Kenya?
Come on,
Singapore,
man.
here we come.
I tell you, that's the way to do it. Publishers warn. If you think it's safe to get out of the water, tendering delays will hurt grade 11 textbooks rollout. Remember that we saw a trickling in of some books for grade 10s around midway into the first term. Now, what I like about this story, even though it sounds damning, is that at least in March 2026, we are talking about publishing of books that are needed for January 2027. I like that. Because we should not be waiting until December to start talking about how you're going to publish the books. It is good that you're having that conversation now. So if you can have that, it would be great. Merry Christmas with books actually for grade 11, because remember, still the guinea pigs. They're the ones who are still going through this system, trying out things. So other stories making it into the Standard this morning, which we'll come back and look into a little bit more detail. Kenya's AI bill must encourage innovation and not suffocate it. This is in the opinion pages. This one done by George Nyongesa, who's a lecturer in philosophy and logic. Did you know that there's such a thing? You can be a lecturer in philosophy and logic. You can actually go and take a course in philosophy and logic. I can prescribe that to some people, or should I just keep quiet? Slain scribes kin still waiting for compensation. Journalist William Munuhe was killed 23 years ago trying to help arrest Felicien Kabuga. And this was, of course, after the effects of the Rwandan genocide. They're still waiting for compensation. That's the story that's coming in from the counties. County finance boss faces arrest over 11 million shillings debt. 3 men have been arrested with Kenyan birth certificates. Are you surprised? Well, I mean, if you can get a passport and you're a warlord, what's a birth certificate? No biggie, no? Mm-hmm. Kenyans warm up to a woman president, according to the latest surveys. Did you know that Kenya might actually be warming up to the fact that it's possible to have a president that is female?
Finally.
Finally? Mm-hmm. Finally. Get yourself a copy of the Standard newspaper. The Standard e-paper is available online. Let's take a break and see what's happening with weather, traffic, and then Grace is going to tell you what's in the nation. Don't go away.
This is The Situation, the only way to start your day.
Is also what we had also in our paper. Winnie Odinga, as I said, we're going to be having that discussion with Gladys Wanga once she joins us in just but a few. Teachers forced to pay cash for health services.
Okay. Stop the train. You look as shocked as I feel.
I know, right? Because what happens to Shashi Shoshu?
Oh, wow. Okay, I've not heard that one. But look. Mm-hmm. It can't, for me, it can't be a conversation about whether Shah is working or not, or is it working, or is it political? And somebody, is my memory fading me? But somebody said yesterday, yes, it was Bishop C.W. Shah inafanya ama Shah ifanyi. Then wangapi wanaona kama Shah inafanya, weka mkono kwa. I mean, come on.
No, we cannot joke with our health in that way.
Weka mkono juu kama unaona Shah inafanya kazi. Nani anasema, oh, for God's sake. It is not working. And I keep giving the example of shirts in an assembly line, that when those people who are selecting and they check and they say, this one has a problem, it's in the line, it's going towards packaging. Yeah. And they pick the one that says, this one has a problem. You don't stop the press and say, let's fix this shirt. No, the entire thing is removed and it is put aside. And we go with the one that's working. So you tell me it's not working, it's working. Teachers, this one is very dear to them. Mm-hmm. You called them to State House in January. You did whatever it is that you were going to do, and this was one of the things on the agenda. And you said, we move, guys, let's move. They moved. Now, you're asking them, remember, they complain about meager resources all the time. Then now you tell them, you want to access healthcare? You have to pay. So what is it for?
What is it for? And then also, again, when you come and ask people, Kenyans, is Shah working? Who are you asking? If you go to a one-term brigade, they'll say it's working. All right. You go to a two-term brigade, they say it's not working. I feel like this should not be a question. Health should not be politicized. It is really sad that we are politicizing it. It should work for everybody. Period. It does not matter whether you one term, half term, 2 term, 3 term, never term. Health, education, those 2 key sectors, you cannot joke with them, you cannot politicize them. Healthcare should work, period. And if we are paying for health services, I don't get why, again, you want to come get into my pocket and give again cash.
Because it's been
something is definitely
source.
Wrong, and it's I remember even the court had issued orders saying that it was actually unconstitutional, but it's too late because people are already contributing. Yep. Again, our courts also, we're going to blame them because why drag a case so long, then later come and tell us this thing is wrong, and now you cannot go back, we just have to fix it. It really doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Health has to work, that's it. CS accuses all marketing firms of hoarding fuel, warns they will be fined.
Okay.
Yes. And then Kisumu anti-government protest victims awarded 38 million compensation. Finally, we're seeing something from this compensation thing.
Okay. Okay. That's okay. They've been there for about a year, almost.
Yes.
Okay. I have a question. This compensation money, where does it come from?
No.
Yeah? I'm just asking.
It says 28 victims of police violence during the 2023 anti-government protest in Kisumu set to receive 38.6 million. All right, that is Kisumu. What about Nairobi? What about Turkana?
The rest of the country?
Mombasa?
I've asked you a question and you've ignored me. where is this money coming from? Was it budgeted for? Where does it come from? Okay, like now this 38 million, where is it coming from?
But I've forgotten that's why we had the NADCO report to settle on such issues. And we're talking about the compensation of these people here, the health sector and the education sector is crippling. It's okay. Final stretch. Search for new KU boss down to 8. Then, Nairobi Hospital Board sues state over illegal interference and intimidations. About time.
This saga is just going to be more interesting by the day. Herman Manyora, also a couple of days ago arrested for, and then charged yesterday actually for something. I don't know. But everybody seems to be throwing something into the works.
What's in it with this Nairobi Hospital
What
thing?
is it? Let me tell you. My good friend Dennis Okari used to say, follow the money. There's something going on that doesn't make sense. Why is everybody so interested in this thing?
All of a sudden.
Oh, come on.
All of a sudden it's wrong, the board is wrong, everything is wrong, everyone has to go. New people need to be brought on board. But we're here for it.
Yep.
Protest drive rise in police killings. But of course. Yeah, so that is just a bit of what happens or what is on the daily newspaper.
All right. That was the Nation. Looking into the Star this morning. Kioni signals Uhuru Rigathi 27 power plan against Ruto. Okay. This will be fun. But okay. The two sides' hostility appears to be easing, meaning that Uhuru and Rigathi might, be brothers again or whatever. I don't know. Ugh. It's just politics, but that's what it looks like. And there's a picture in the Star this morning. I don't know if you can look at that a little bit closer. No, you can't because you don't have it. But I can use mine. Another year, another round of flooding. And I mean, just look at that. And this is what we're looking at. River Nyando, of course, we know has burst its banks. And that's what Kev was telling us yesterday. So you go the Londiani route and then you approach Awasi. Now, between Awasi and Ahero, you cannot actually access that road to then go to Kisumu because the River Nyando has burst its banks. Houses are submerged. Nobody is going anywhere. So in order for you to cross over, essentially, you cannot go Kericho, Kisumu because that's the stretch that we're talking about. You have to go longer. So, of course, it's going to affect travel. And it's not like you can say, excuse me, River Nyando, people need to pass. Can you go back? No, this is where we are. And so until that subsides, people are not going to be able to use that. We will see, remember we're going into the Easter season, a lot of people travel. We will see, it's not into being the doomsday sayer, it's just the case that we will see heightened levels of traffic as people start to travel from Thursday next week because of this, for those who are going in that direction. We'll see it. So it's just the thing of we need to be prepared for that. Pain of loss. Families speak out on Kenya's stillbirth crisis. Did you know that there was a stillbirth crisis in Kenya? Hannah Mwangi will still remembers the painful cries of babies in 2016. Her first baby died after complications with the umbilical cord, which cut off the baby's oxygen birth. Afterwards, she was placed in a ward full of mothers with live babies. No counseling, no explanations, no compassion. She says in 2017, her baby, Tiffany, was born prematurely. This is the story of many, and some born not alive. Looking at other stories making it into the Star this morning. Kalenjins and Somalis top in Shah workforce. Okay. Is that a useless piece of information or is that something that's going to get people rage baited? UN lauds Kenya for leading in use of gender data to shape policy. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And Matiang'i says the president is unable to govern and must go home in 2027. That's in case you were wondering what Matiang'i thinks. That's what he thinks. So these are some of the stories also making it into the Star today. And in the Business Daily, NST blue chip firms shed 200 billion shillings on the Iran war. This is a thing, guys. So misinformation and disinformation is a thing in our world today, and that there have been entire companies that have been set up to just churn out disinformation. And I saw one of the most interesting yesterday, that they're saying that this Iran war is actually not real. That it's just people trying to imagine that if you then they ask you, have you gone to Iran to see that the war is actually taking place? Yes. So they're actually manufacturing this news to turn the thinking that this actually is the case. The thing is, you never know who is behind this propaganda.
Yes.
But in our duty and our role as information givers, the Iran war is not a fantasy. It is not.
It is happening.
It is actually happening at the moment. There were talks that perhaps Donald Trump was been able to broker an agreement to say, okay, guys, can we take a break on this thing for a minute and let the world get back to. My thing is that we are still in shackles, whereby two countries have a tiff and the rest of the world is bound. You know, that's what we are doing. That's what we are right now. People are worrying about fuel. Countries are already queuing for petrol and they're not quite sure what's going to happen. People's businesses are at a standstill. I talked to somebody yesterday trying to get some things into the country. Oh, we don't know what's going to happen because there's war. Okay. When you get to the point, so you can look at it in two ways. When you get to the point that when you sneeze, the rest of the world catches a cold, you're very powerful. Also, when you come to the realization that it is not possible that two countries can actually dictate the way things are going to be, then you can either wake up to do something about the position that you wield. It's part of the conversation that we'll be having at 9 o'clock. Chaos says Kenya orders immediate ban on low-end phones. Okay. This is nice. However, can people afford them?
No.
Quality fears in TVET as tutor shortfall hits highly technical courses. Okay. Again, I said rage bait is not my thing this morning. All right. So that's what the headlines look like across board. I want to look into particular stories, and I want to come back to this Kericho story so that we can understand what exactly is going on.
Sure.
Because these are the things that if we ignore, we then have a problem. The police say that this is it's an investigation that's going on. But the police say that they were kept in the dark. And so this is what they say to the questions over the mass grave. But fresh details have now emerged, linking procedural breaches to the controversial burial of 33 bodies exhumed from a mass grave at the Kericho Public Cemetery, after it was established that security agencies were not notified prior to their interment, which they're supposed to be. Kericho Criminal Investigations Officer Etaiba Mwenda gave a firm denial when asked whether the police had been informed of the burial. So the police were not notified of the intention to bury the bodies in Kericho, Mr. Mwenda said. His remarks come as a team of homicide detectives led by Director Martin Yaguto intensifies investigations into the shocking discovery that has sparked public outrage and raised serious questions over inter-county handling of human remains. The probe has already seen two key individuals arraigned, the public cemetery caretaker and a records officer from Nyamira County Referral Hospital, who had been since detained for 30 days pending investigations. Authorities believe the bodies, which include adults, children and fetuses, originated from Nyamira County Referral Hospital before being transported and buried under unclear and controversial circumstances in Kericho. And the questions are just going off in my head already. So I remember, I mean, it's of course a painful thing, but I remember when I was burying my son, and we had to go to get the burial permit. You had a death notification. You had to go. The police they're one of the people who sign on that notification. And the county government signs on that notification. You cannot bury without that document. So somebody signed it. Somebody, not even just one person. At least two people have signed on that document. So when you say that 33 people can be buried and somebody doesn't know, the police were not aware. That's not true. How are you not aware on a document which you, as a part of the police, are required to sign?
No, I think now the bigger question is how powerful is this hospital, Nyamira Hospital? That you can do anything that you want. No one is going to question you. You don't need to seek authority from or permission from the police or the relevant authorities. How powerful is this particular hospital that they can do anything that they want? You know, and that's why now the county says, you know, we can justify the burials. How? You can justify the burials, yet you did not even consult or talk to the relevant authorities.
Okay, Grace, you can justify the burials on that document. Which names?
Who are they?
Which names?
Are their families aware that they were all buried under? Come on now.
You're investigating. What are you investigating? Remember, Quarry, where there were mutilated bodies who, by the way, hello, we don't even know who those women are till today. We've not been told who they are. But guess what? From the discovery of those bodies, where it was individuals who were lifting them out of these gunny bags, less than 48 hours later, they had already arrested somebody and found, 23 SIM cards and 46 phones and I don't know where, whatever in his house. And here, you are unable to tell us in hours because it's a phone call. If you ask me, you don't have to go all the way to Nyamira. It's a phone call. Somebody works in a department somewhere.
Yes.
Who will then be able to say, yes, I'm the morgue attendant or I am the one who released these bodies to go. How did they move? Who drove the vehicle? Who gave the order?
At what time were they even buried?
Hey, Jameni. And these are questions that can be answered if you push and you ask.
Yes, and then also someone may ask, when these burials were taking place, was it one person at a time? Was it
all at once?
Was they all being dumped all at once?
Yeah.
There's so many questions that I think that this hospital needs to answer.
And
Because now they seem to be so powerful.
Because when you say you're doing investigations, till when? To me, it's a question. You know how they call us to attend those meetings that can actually be an email?
Yeah.
This one doesn't require you to go to Nyamira. You can actually pick up the phone and ask, attendant, excuse me, who allowed to...
Who authorized
this thing to move?
the bodies to be moved and to be buried at that particular... Why? Why there?
And that's why your question makes sense. Because how powerful are you?
Yes,
Or
how powerful?
who
is
in
running?
here is running this thing?
Yeah.
Because first it was 14, now it's 33. Somebody dropped them in the dead of night. So the bigger
There's
question.
so many questions. And then also another question, if a whole entire police comes and says we weren't aware, do you know it leaves us at limbo, like, are we even safe? If anything can happen and the police are not aware of, is such magnitude of, we are talking about 30 plus people buried, the police are unaware. How safe are we?
How many more people have been buried and you don't know?
Or even worse.
Those people who are saying mtoto alipotea like 15 years ago. Lakini bado
tunamutafuta, tutamupata, amepatwa.
How many people have disappeared like this? The value that we place on human life is then the thing that comes into question for you to say, this is too grotesque, this is too crazy an issue for us to be quiet about it. So we'll talk about it, or we wait for investigations. Yes, while we're waiting for investigations, we're going to talk about it. If anything, it should prick your conscience. Look, the fetuses, Grace. Fetuses means that these children, these births were preterm, or they were abortions, or something. Who are their mothers?
And then now when we talk about investigations, I think even as Kenyans, we are tired. We are still waiting for investigations of Shakahola 1. Then came Shakahola 2. Now we have Kericho 1. Who knows, we have Kericho 2, Kericho 3, Kericho 4. Do you understand? So how long are we...
Yes. Shakahola 2.
We have Shakahola 2. Investigations are still ongoing. The culprits are still in court. Are dragging. So now we're in Kericho. Maybe this is Kericho 1. So are we waiting for Kericho 2, another county 1 and 2 as the investigations continue? It's crazy. It's really crazy, but...
I don't know. We can do better. Okay, give us another story, Grace.
Yes. The other one, of course, that we're going to be talking about is the ODM and of course, Wanga. She's already here. We're going to have a very interesting conversation. People can also send in their questions, what they want the governor to address. We've also talked about the oil marketers.
Yeah.
The government initially there was a scare that... the fuel prices are going to hike because there is no oil. Then now the CS comes out and says, no. There's nothing like that.
Don't worry.
We have enough oil.
For how long though?
For how long is the question? Is this just a PR for that? We don't know. Kenyans are angry people.
Yeah.
Generally, are they just going to manage us for now and then you hear shoot? The war has prolonged, so we have no choice.
Is he sure? And I hope it's not a case where there are people who are advising him, who may be advising him in the wrong direction. Yeah. Is he sure that the reserves, because usually Kenya has about a month's supply on a normal basis, usually has a month's supply in reserve. So is Kenya already eating into its month's supply?
We'd rather know the truth and deal with it.
Tell people the truth from the beginning, because he doesn't want people to start panic buying and doesn't want people to hoard. I can understand that fear. But then you want people to know exactly what's going on. What is happening here. Because you don't know when the Strait of Hormuz will be opened. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know if Dangote is going to get his act together with the Nigerian government and say, let's start selling in Africa. You don't know when that's going to happen. Yikes. It doesn't look very promising. At the moment.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice if, the truth was just told from the very beginning to say, this is the situation, guys. Maybe there's no cause for concern, but, yeah.
Let's watch out.
Yeah.
But if you come and say everything is fine, tomorrow we're going to blame you. We're going to be like, but you told us that
everything
we're
was okay, and now there's no fuel in our tank.
Thank you.
And then, the thing is, I wish we would understand, or maybe we do understand, but then put into our minds the ripple effects on some of these things. That we see the cost of fuel, should it rise, it affects everything that you do.
Yeah.
And adds to the cost. We're talking about the cost of food, of course, the cost of transport, the cost to be able to move things from point A to point B. All of this then heavily affected by fuel.
Yeah.
The lack of it means that it's probably going to be more expensive, especially for those who are private sellers or whatever the case may be. But that it affects everything. So you cannot be cagey with that information in terms of what's going on. Well, I mean, I don't know if I blame him too much, but okay. All right, so those are some of the things that we're looking at. Looking at one more story, and that's this one: win for Tuju as court dismisses his probe. Former Cabinet Secretary Raphael Tuju yesterday secured a win after a Nairobi court blocked the police efforts to investigate him and conduct a search at his home, ruling that the application before it failed to disclose any offense. The intended probe related to allegations of giving police false information after he went missing last week. I'm just going to go back to this. Tuju never opened his mouth and told anybody that he had been abducted. He never said.
He was just being traced and decided to seek shelter.
Yeah.
But
Anybody,
this day came, a cliche one.
Yeah.
You abducted yourself.
Yeah.
You need to come and record a statement and so on and so forth.
If anything, it's people around him who said he's missing and he's probably been abducted. It was never him. He never. So on what grounds is he then being accused? I know that the law is very clear in some cases as mud, but in this one, he never said it.
He never said it.
And if somebody else said it, hadn't that be the person who should be on the dock?
And let me ask you, Ndu, as well, because when he went missing, the DCI was quiet.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't saying that we are looking for him. We have started investigations. So they were quiet until he resurfaces. And now they come back. They come out at a press conference and they say he abducted himself.
Yeah. I don't know.
So weird.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
And that takes us to the top of the hour. Gladys Wanga joins us at 7. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.